saint level, or DOU SHENG, is essentially the pinnacle of power on the DOU Qi continent. It is the final class before the ultimate DOU D. At this stage, a person has already surpassed ordinary experts and entered the holy realm. The power they possess goes far beyond human imagination. The ability to create a separate dimension or realm suitable for life is one of the marks of an elite saint. The might of a DOU SHENG lies not so much in the vast strength of their DOU Qi, but in their mastery over natural energy, freely manipulating it for both attack and defense. Xiao Yan absolutely had to reach this level in order to absorb his sixth heavenly flame, the purifying lotus flame. When he found the fourth fragment of the map, he had only 3 years to become a saint, or else the purifying lotus flame would be forever beyond his reach. So, how would Xiao Yan step into this incomparably majestic class of cultivation? How powerful would he become? As we mentioned in previous videos, Xiao Yan would skip the half-saint Banshang stage entirely and directly advance to the saint class. He was aided in this by the Bodhisattva tree, where he underwent 100 reincarnations. There, he reached the 9th stage of the Fight Venerate DOU Zun level. But the greatest treasure was the Bodhisattva heart, which has the ability to transform a person's heart, making it an easy task to become a saint. Xiao Yan not only enjoyed legendary meditation under the ancient tree, but also concealed the Bodhisattva heart within his body. And of course, we should not forget the 11 pure seeds of the tree that still remained in his hands. Thus, Xiao Yan decided not to cleanse the Bodhisattva heart immediately upon returning to the Falling Star Pavilion, because he understood how important it was. He needed to purify it perfectly. Absolutely nothing could go wrong. With this in mind, Xiao Yan devoted great effort over the course of a month to reach his peak condition. Both he and Yao Lao did their utmost to prepare and increase his chances of advancing to the half-saint level. Yes, Xiao Yan was at the peak of 9-star Fight Venerate DOU Zun. He intended to break into the half-saint class. But what happened next was simply astonishing. He skipped that stage entirely. Of course, everyone knew that the power of the Falling Star Pavilion would undoubtedly soar if Xiao Yan successfully advanced to half-saint. Together with Yao Lao, also at Banshang level, they would become a force even ancient factions would hesitate to provoke. The teacher specially crafted a high-quality pill and gave it to Xiao Yan. This was the Bodhisattva pill. It summoned lightning of 8 colors. By combining this pill with the Bodhisattva heart, the chances of successfully breaking through to the half-saint level greatly increased. Breaking into the half-saint class was extremely difficult, let alone the level of a true saint. It required many components. In Xiao Yan's case, these were the best of the best: the Bodhisattva heart and an 8th rank pill with 8 colored lightning. Yao Lao took on all matters of the pavilion himself. The most important thing for Xiao Yan was to break through to half-saint as soon as possible. Otherwise, when the purifying lotus flame appeared in 3 years, he would be unable to absorb it. This heavenly flame was simply too terrifying. Xiao Yan agreed. This was an obstacle that could completely transform him. He had been pursuing this heavenly flame, ranked 3rd, for more than 10 years. There was no way he could give it up. So, Xiao Yan bid farewell to his teacher Yao Lao, Kai Lin, and his daughter, and entered a long seclusion. Yao Lao sighed. "Let's go. Now we will wait for him to successfully become a half-saint." He then waved his hand, embraced Xiao, and slowly left. Kai Lin and the others quickly followed. None of them expected that this seclusion would last 2 whole years. During this time, many events occurred, the latest being that the Falling Star Pavilion was declared war upon. The enemy faction arrived with 3 half-saint experts, the old monster Tianming, and the 2nd and 3rd Tianzins of the Hall of Souls. Unfortunately, it was very difficult for Yao Lao to fight against such powerful foes. And at the most critical moment, Xiao Yan finally emerged from meditation, his breakthrough complete. Monstrous flames burst forth from the depths of the mountains. "Today, anyone who does not belong to my pavilion will die." A dense aura and pressure spread with lightning speed as this dangerous voice echoed in the sky. Sensing this monstrous aura, which carried immense pressure, the old monster Tianming and Guyu instantly grew serious. Strong shock appeared on their faces. They shouted in disbelief. "A saint? How is that possible?" A black-clad figure approached. Slowly, it appeared before everyone's eyes. "Xiao Yan, The young pavilion master has emerged from his seclusion. Exclamations filled with various emotions rang out upon seeing this familiar figure. Members of the Falling Star Pavilion were overcome with wild joy, while the others were struck with disbelief. How could this be? 2 years ago, this man was only at the peak of Fight Venerate DOU. How could he have broken through directly to the saint level? Moreover, a true saint. The second Tianzuan stared in disbelief at the young figure walking through the waves of flame. The answer was simple. It's the Bodhisattva heart. He obtained the Bodhisattva heart. All battles halted at that moment. The terrifying pressure he emitted made even the souls of peak fight venerates tremble in fear. This pressure was many times greater than that produced by a half-saint. Xiao Yan appeared beside Yao Lao. "Teacher, forgive me. Leave everything to me." The strongest experts above Fight Venerate, including Yao Lao, could feel Xiao Yan's current strength. A one-star saint. He was not a half-saint, but a true saint. Between these levels, the difference was just one word, yet the gap in power was terrifying. Although an elite half-saint Ban Shang could also be called a saint, since such experts possessed power far beyond that of a Fight Venerate, they could only be strictly described as not a true saint. Only when one truly reached the one-star level could they be called a true saint. The half-saint level was divided into early, middle, and high stages. These stages seemed small, but leaping across them was very difficult. For example, decades had passed since DOU had advanced to half-saint, yet he had only reached the high stage. Others could spend decades at the advanced Ban Sheng rank and still fail to break through to one-star saint. This showed just how vast the difference was between a one-star saint and even a high-level half-saint. Yes, Xiao Yan was no longer a Fight Venerate. He had skipped the half-saint level and, in just 2 short years, reached the one-star saint level. When all was over, the pavilion disciples welcomed Saint Xiao Yan. "The current you have finally surpassed your teacher," Yao Lao sighed softly and with emotion. When he had first met Xiao Yan, he was just an ordinary student in his clan. Over the years, relying on his astonishing perseverance, this young man had slowly reached the current threshold of power. At this moment, Xiao Yan had finally ascended to the very peak of the DOU continent. Having reached the saint level, the real excitement began. Xiao Yan acted fearlessly and dealt with many factions that owed him, one notable example being the Wind and Lightning Pavilion. Thus, by purifying the Bodhisattva heart and using the 8th rank pill with 8-colored lightning, Xiao Yan reached the legendary level of Dou Shang Saint. It took more than 2 years to break through, but the result was worth it. Now he could set his sights on the purifying lotus flame. Thank you very much for watching. Write in the comments whether you are looking forward to this magnificent moment. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and goodbye to all.